City. And the Celtics and the Knicks are looking for that extra Christmas present today from Madison Square Garden. Christmas Day in Madison Square Garden has become a tradition, and today it's the Boston Celtics who invade the New York Knicks. And hello again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton, and all of us at CBS wish you all Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. The Atlantic Division standings show the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks are virtually at opposite ends of the spectrum in the NBA, and the Celtics have the second best record in the league. And so as we wish you happy holidays, Tommy Heinsohn, and of course Pat O'Brien is also with us. Tommy, 4 of the 6 losses by the Celtics have occurred in the last 8 games. They have slowed up, and the Knicks are improved. Does that affect what you think might happen today?
This could be a real good basketball game today, Dick. I think the New York Knicks, the early part of the season, had offensive problems. They were going exclusively to Pat Cummings and Pat Ewing. Now their guards have started to produce, and Louis Orr is rounding into shape after a long holdout. The Celtics have been having trouble with their bench contribution. It's forced their starters to play more minutes, and as a consequence, they've gotten tired. They're not running quite as well.
What's the key to the game that we can look for?
The Knicks count on the zone press to make you shoot the long outside shot. Larry Bird has been very key in destroying that defense with his outside shooting. He's been in an outside shooting slump. A very key thing, how well Bird can hit from the outside.
All right, Tommy, and we're all very pleased that CBS has extended their contract with the NBA to 4 more years, starting with the 1986-87 season, and we are very much delighted. So coming up, it's the NBA on CBS.
The NBA on CBS. Today's game from Madison Square Garden is sponsored by light beer from Miller. Everything you've always wanted in a beer and less. Air Jordan. Basketball by Nike. And by America's best back trucks. At Dodge, we don't just talk tough. We prove it.
Knicks are looking for their 3rd in a row, which would match their season's high. And here are the lineups today for the Celtics and the Knicks, starting with the Boston Celtics. And an impressive and imposing front court of Larry Bird and Kevin McHale at the forwards, and Robert Parish, the center. And the backcourt, equally as impressive, with Danny Ainge and Dennis Johnson. Casey Jones, the quiet but masterful coach of the Celtics. For the New York Knickerbockers, injuries have affected them. Pat Cummings has had a solid year. Louis Orr, Tommy mentioned, and of course Patrick Ewing, the rookie, in the middle. And in the backcourt for the Knicks, Rory Sparrow and Trent Tucker and Hubie Brown trying to find the right combination for the New York Knicks. The officials for this game, Wally Rooney and Jim Capers. So the Celtics trying to get straightened out. No question, Tommy, what they want to do with those 3 redwood trees up front, and of course Ewing defending against them.
They've got multiple low post players, Dick, that they try to capitalize on the weakest defender of the opponent, and all of them can produce inside. Parish, McHale, and Bird.
The Celtics have lost their last 3 games on the road, but they win the tip. Season series 2-0 in favor of Boston. Tucker is on Ainge. There's Larry Bird trying to get underway. Misses his first shot.
The Knicks on a rebound will kind of slow it down, but this game may pick up its pace because most teams beating the Celtics find the best thing to do is run.
Orr runs Bird into a screen and helps out on Patrick Ewing, and that's the kind of helping defense that Larry Bird's been known for. Sparrow is on Dennis Johnson. On the shot clock. Off the screen is Danny Ainge. Teams are cold in the early going, but a loose ball foul has been charged.
The Knicks play very good inside defense, and with Patrick Ewing, one of the premier defenders down low, they're going to have trouble.
And Ewing has picked up a personal foul here. Less than a minute gone by in the first period. Cummings has the tough task against Kevin McHale, who's almost impossible to match up against. Parish trying to screen for Orr, and he's called for the foul. That was obvious. He just moved out 3 feet and tried to knock Orr away.
Quite obvious to me, Dick, they're trying to get Larry Bird off the snide early.
His scoring, his shooting, rebounding down from last year. He's been the MVP the last 2 seasons.
And handled with a back problem.
Which he won't complain about. Ewing gets a feed inside. Fights works his way in, and Parish with a rebound. So the Knicks going to their power man. Still no score. Just about a minute and a half gone by. Kevin McHale breaks through.
There is the guy that they like to get the ball to. Nobody seems to be able to defend adequately against Kevin McHale.
Now the Knicks. Tucker gets through inside, but can't make the layup. And traveling call against the Boston Celtics. Well, we're seeing the Celtics trying to run more. What about the Knicks?
The Knicks kind of pull it up after they have a 3-on-2 opportunity. That's the extent of their fast breaks. They don't really pressure it up as much as perhaps the other teams do.
And one of the stories that have emanated in New York concerning Hubie Brown's style, as Kevin McHale fouls Pat Cummings, and a lot of people think that the Knicks have kind of a dull attack.
Well, it certainly isn't exciting, Dick, because they don't get any of those swooping layups and stuffs off the fast break that a lot of other NBA teams do. But they function half-court-wise very effectively because Hubie Brown is a master at execution.
Here's Pat Cummings. Cummings has scored 20 points in both games against the Celtics. In fact, he's the only Knick shooting 50% from the field.
They had problems in the last few games while he was out for 6 games with an injury, and it's taken him a little while to get back.
Well, it took the Knicks just about 2 minutes to score. Sparrow pressuring Johnson in the backcourt. The Knicks have been known for holding teams down and playing low-scoring affairs. Bird free in the corner, and he's on the board.
With that press defense, Bird will have the open shot more often than not. Casey Jones wants him to take it.
Louis Orr. Since Orr's return, the Knicks have been virtually a 500 team. Now Danny Ainge is called for a foul. That is the 3rd team foul. 2 team fouls against the Celtics. The Knicks, when you're 9-19, you're not going to have a winning record anywhere. They're trying to get close to the 500 at the Garden. Trent Tucker with a good outside shot. Misses a 3-pointer. Ainge. Orr with a tough assignment against Larry Bird. And it'll be a Knick foul inside.
That's where Larry Bird has really been having his difficulties. They're trying to put him on, make him put the ball on the floor. It was almost automatic the last couple of years that Larry Bird would make these type of shots. It looked like so natural. Now it's almost like I can't believe he's missing them. But they've always been difficult shots.
Do you think he plays on a higher level than anyone else and therefore is scrutinized in what is just a average good game for him?
Well, he makes the unusual look normal.
McHale is fouled going in. Pat Cummings with his first personal foul. How do you defend against Kevin McHale if you were a coach and you had the right guy?
Well, McHale, once he gets the ball, he's got those long arms, and he's got all kinds of moves going to the hoop. You try to cut him off to the middle, as Cummings did right there with his body, and you end up getting fouls, however. But he's got that natural long arm advantage of getting the shot off again.
He's coming off his best game, 34 against Philadelphia in a losing cause.
I tell you, he's developed some new moves this year, too.
The Celtics lead by 4 with 3 minutes gone by here in the opening period. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn here at Madison Square Garden. Ewing outside. And Trent Tucker, that's what he's in there, one of the top 3-point shooters in the league. Celtics trying to run all the way back, and Bird can't convert inside.
There you see the difference. The Knicks make a basket, and immediately the Celtics push it up quickly to try and score an easy baskets. The Knicks don't do that.
That's a demoralizer, isn't it? Ball knocked away. It is still New York ball as Ainge helping out with Parish on Ewing.
There's the made basket. Long pass off the made, and Bird had an angle on the hoop. It would have taken a spectacular play, but they want to force the pace.
Tucker inside to Ewing. Double team. And they're going to call a 3-second violation against the Knicks. So obviously the Celtics are going to at least double team and maybe even triple team Patrick Ewing today.
Most teams are now. They know he's an offensive force, but what I'm seeing already is better positioning by Patrick Ewing than he did in the first game we telecast.
He was used to taking that 12-footer, and I think now he's getting closer to the hoop, which is what everyone wants to see him do. Johnson is fouled by Rory Sparrow.
These guys, Dennis Johnson is such a key player for the Celtics. Some of their problems developed when Johnson got hurt. and hurt his wrist. They thought he was going to be out for about 10 weeks, and somehow they got the cure from Lewis for him, and he's back in the lineup.
In many ways, he's the barometer of this club, even with that great front line. He was ejected from the game in Philadelphia. The Celtics lost. He had that sprained wrist, and the Celtics lost. And actually, if you think about it, he's maybe the true catalyst of this team.
He's developed into such a great all-around player. And the other teams he played with, he just played defense. Here he's offense, too.
Sparrow. That's what the Knicks guards have to do, hit when they're open, and Rory Sparrow did it there. We haven't seen the trapping defense by the Knicks. In past years, it came from their second unit. They don't have necessarily a second unit anymore, although Ernie Grunfeld plays a big role there. Johnson going to the hoop and draws the foul. Good inside move by Dennis Johnson, and the personal foul is on Tucker. So all of the 5 Knicks starters have picked off personal foul.
When you talk of multiple low post players, you think of the big guys, but Dennis Johnson, when he gets in that low post, he's as effective as a 6'10" because he's got great body control and he can make you pay the price, and most guards can't defend him.
Jimmy Brown was telling us what's really tough about Johnson is that he'll penetrate and get your big men in foul trouble.
Well, he doesn't have that great speed, but he's such a savvy player. He picks his spots to weave through that defense.
Celtics by 3, 7:45 remaining in the first period. Celtics won 9 in a row before splitting their last 8. Coming. Good move. Rolled out, however, and now the Celtics try to push it up. It's 3-on-3. Knicks get back on defense. Parish inside. But Parish running. It's so important for Parish to run.
Very important that McHale and Parish run to establish tempo for the Celtics to get those easy hoops. Good basket by Robert Parish.
Timeout called by the Knicks. The Celtics lead by 5. Teams feeling each other out in the early going on Christmas Day in New York. I mean, if you don't get back on defense against a big man who can run, you're in trouble.
Well, the Celtics really don't have a fast team, and having a fast break team revolves around a third man up to create that 3-man attack. The big guys have a tough run. Parish disappears in your screen, but watch him outrace Patrick Ewing up the court for the easy hoop. The Celtics really need a lot of those type of baskets from McHale and Parish to be an effective running team. That's an awfully difficult long run for those big guys.
The Knicks will inbound after their timeout. 7:22 remaining in the first period. 5-point lead. The Celtics have led all the way. Sparrow working against Ainge. Cummings. And Parish gets the rebound. 4 for Robert Parish. No one's setting up inside now, and now Parish gets set on the weak side. Double team on Bird. Open man is Johnson. Ainge. Good pass by Dennis Johnson. Ainge couldn't connect, and now the Knicks trying to cut it to 3. Sparrow. 2 in a row from outside.
And that's the first time all game that the Knicks have used the 4th man up the court for a wide open shot. That's good signs for the Knicks.
They get Sparrow and Tucker came off a tremendous game against Detroit the other night. They hit from outside. The Knicks can probably play with anybody. Parish inside, and Sparrow, called the most consistent guard we have. The rebound, but throws it away. Rarely does he commit that kind of a turnover. And Larry Bird burns him, and Bird now with 4 points.
Their eagerness that time to get the ball to Ewing, who had left Parish in the dust. They made a turnover. They're not too smart when they're trying to run, however, at times.
Knicks have not been able to get the break going. They haven't gotten the turnover much. Or, top of the key, Dennis Johnson recovers. And the Celtics trying to open up to 7. Pass a little bit too high off the glass for Parish. Sparrow with a good move on Dennis Johnson. Too hard off the glass. Ewing is back for the Knicks. Ainge. Johnson behind. Fine defensive play by Lewis Orr. He got Dennis Johnson, blocked him from behind. Well, the Knicks have not been able to score with the chances they've had.
Boy, they had a beautiful 2-on-1 opportunity that time, and Sparrow's bad pass fouled it up.
Cummings. The Bird helping out on defense, and Pat Cummings goes inside, and it's 13-10.
Cummings makes you think, how do you score like that? He doesn't look like a player, but does he get the job done?
Bird, and now Orr with the rebound, and the Knicks can creep within 1 point with a basket here. Bird is 2 for 6 from the field. Ewing did a lot of that early in the season, and I guess it doesn't hurt a big man to be able to hit that kind of a shot.
You have to be able to hit that outside shot. Here's Louis Orr's block from behind. Great defensive play, and this is the type of play that Orr is noted for, hustling defense more than anything else, but he can score too.
Now you know why Orr has made the Knicks practically a 500 club since his return. They were in quite a hole when he was a holdout. McHale on Parish's miss. That's the offensive rebounding that the Knicks are concerned about, and for that matter, every club.
What a play by Larry Bird. He knew exactly where Kevin McHale was and how open he was.
Ken Bannister, the other big man the Knicks have, gets set to report into the game. Ewing has not scored for the Knicks, who are down by 5, and Ewing still unable to score, but Cummings saves it.
Going to see Larry Bird. He gets position before the shot is even taken, which is the smart thing to do. He picks it off. He knows that McHale is open. Look, he didn't even look at McHale, and off it is to McHale and off the glass.
Bannister is into the ball game now. Strong and powerful backup, was the 156th player drafted last year. Bannister trying to muscle McHale. On a switch, picks up Johnson. Sparrow back on him. 4 seconds on the clock, McHale. Missing, Ewing the rebound. So the Knicks, for the few times, going with Bannister and Ewing at the same time. Bannister almost lost it. Ewing feeds Tucker. And no baskets is Wally Rooney. Traveling called against Trent Tucker. But what a pass by Pat Ewing.
He can do it all. That's why the coaches and NBA people were tremendously happy when he ended up with the Knicks, because he's going to excite you with plays like this. There's the little walk.
Darrell Walker has checked into the game for the Knicks. He's been bothered by a bad back. We have a New York foul on Louis Orr, his second personal foul, and the Knicks are into the penalties. Orr is not pleased with that, and here's Ernie Grunfeld, 9-year veteran, who replaces Orr.
Well, this unit more than likely will start that zone pressing defense to try and take the Celtics out of their normal inside game. They'll cover that up. They'll force you to take the outside shot. Grunfeld is excellent at running that press defense.
Larry Bird is second in the NBA in free throw percentage. He's been to the line by far more than anyone else in the league.
I'll tell you, he had a back problem developed running the golf course this summer, trying to stay in shape, and it's bothered him right from then to now.
Biggest lead right now, 7 points for the Celtics, winding down to 3 minutes to go in the first period. Walker driving in. Ewing didn't have control, but he makes the basket, and the first points of the game for Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, Ewing has been getting some easy shots in there.
Don't know how long Walker will be in there. He's got a consecutive game streak going, and that's what the Knicks want to keep going. An illegal defense called against the Knicks. Illegal defense. Timeout called by the Celtics, and we'll be back. Biggest impact so far in the NBA. McDaniel of Seattle, Malone of Utah, and of course Patrick Ewing, who U.B. Brown said is maybe one of the most coachable people he's ever met. And here he is in an earlier action.
And here we're seeing that he's learned the lesson that closer to the basket is better, as he takes it in very close to the hoop with a nice pass and kisses it off the glass. But he, in the first game, was getting bumped up the foul lane a lot, so that he was getting 10 and 12-foot shots rather than those in-close ones.
The interesting thing is that he never practices, does he?
He's only made 2 workouts on the floor. He's been at every practice, but he hasn't worked out. He's had multiple injuries since the opening of the season, so his improvement is remarkable.
2 minutes and 40 seconds to go, first period. 17-12 the Celtics. Grunfeld on Bird. 8 points for Larry Bird, and he went by Grunfeld. Both teams shooting poorly so far. And Bird fouls Bannister. That'll be only the third team foul against the Celtics, and the first against Bird.
Well, Bird, when he finds a man that he's not quite sure is a good passer, he'll go up and harass him, hoping to make a turnover. Almost picked the ball off.
Darrell Walker looking for Ewing. Fires away. Scott Wedman into the ball game, gets the rebound, and Jerry Seasting. Bill Walton hasn't yet come into the ball game. Parish hits the baseline shot.
Two of the big Celtics up the court quickly that time, both Bird and Parish.
Under 2 minutes to go, and you saw the big redhead waiting to come in on the side. As Casey Jones has opted for Seasting, and Wedman is the first two men off the bench in this game. 6 on the shot clock. Walker. Tipped up and in by Bannister. 7-point lead for the Celtics.
Boy, Bannister used that wide body to advantage that time.
Walker is on Dennis Johnson. Walker with a reputation of being a pesky defensive player. Grunfeld bodying up on Larry Bird doesn't do any good, as Bird is really taking advantage of Ernie Grunfeld.
He knows he can get the shot over the top of Grunfeld, and if he can get an angle, he'll use him to spin off, too.
Sparrow guarded by Seasting. He's one of the new faces. Turnaround by Bannister. Parish clears the rebound with 1 minute to go in the first period, and now the Celtics will try to open up an 11-point lead. Wedman outside throws up an air ball. He's been struggling, and of course the Celtics need that instant offense from him.
Here's Darrell Walker on the double team. It gets pitched out, and Walker will take it strong to the hoop. That's a real strong part of his game, and Bannister out-muscles Wedman for the offensive tip.
Gerald Wilkins, who was the second-round draft pick, and the man the Knicks say are the fastest player they have from end line to end line, has come in along with James Bailey as Patrick Ewing sits down.
Walker was playing at the quick forward spot. He was really out of position in that first game we did.
Dennis Johnson. And Walker did quite a defensive job on Johnson. There's Patrick Ewing, who has 2 points and 3 rebounds as we have 38 seconds to go in the first period.
Here's a guy I have the ultimate respect for, Casey Jones, the quiet coach.
Doesn't say much, but it gets results, and the players obviously love playing for him.
He relates well to the players, has private talks with them, doesn't yell at them.
That's what they said.
Dennis Johnson. He's really being bothered by Walker's defense. Throws up an off-balance shot. And the Knicks get the rebound with 26 seconds, 20 on the shot clock. Trailing by 9. Off a screen, Gerald Wilkins. And Bird the rebound. Knicks cannot afford to miss outside shots because you know most teams pack it in against their big men. Celtics playing for the last shot. 7 seconds. Bird, pick and roll. Misses. And the buzzer sounds. That's the end of the first period. The Knicks scored only 6 points in the last 6 minutes of the period. And now you see why they're the lowest scoring team in many years in the NBA. A reminder, Saturday on CBS Sports, we have a team game of contrast. Georgia meets Arizona in the Sun Bowl. The Bulldogs with a strong ground game. The Wildcats like to throw. That's at 12:30 Eastern Time. And then one of college basketball's hottest rivalries, Louisville against Kentucky. Kenny Walker, the All-American from Kentucky, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. A big Saturday of sports on CBS.
You're going to see switching defense. Celtics are renowned for helping each other out. When you get picked off, you see Jerry Seasting, number 12, gets muscled there by Ken Bannister. But Bird, alert to that situation, goes right out there and tries to give Seasting some help. The Celtics are renowned for helping each other. That's why they got that team concept and that pride thing they talk about.
And they've got a lead of 9 points over the Knicks. It's been 29 years since a team has averaged lower than what the Knicks are scoring, 95.5. In one game this year, they scored only 26 points in a half. That was against Indiana.
If they're inside people, Ewing and Cummings are not scoring well. They very definitely have offensive problems, and they haven't shown well here in the first half.
Walker and Wilkins at guard. Bailey and Grunfeld up front with Cummings. Walton is into the game, making his first appearance, as well as Rick Carlisle. So the Celtics and KC going deep into their bench here. Cummings over Walton hit. What has Walton meant to the Celtics.
He's given them extra defense in the center position and Robert Parish some extra minutes on the bench so he can run harder.
Walton is delighted, of course, with coming over Boston as Bailey commits the foul. So there's a look at Walton, who's playing hard at 33 years old.
He came to the Celtics with an awful lot of enthusiasm. But on the court right now, Dick, is the second unit of the Celtics that's really been having some problems.
In what area have they been? In offense?
Offensively, they're like the Knicks. They're having trouble scoring points.
No one's like the Knicks when you talk about points. Wedman guarded by Grunfeld into Walton. Walton gets the basket, but his biggest contribution has been off the board, hasn't it?
And perhaps getting the Celtic fast break going with quick outlet passes. He's renowned for that.
Lead is 9. Bird all over Cummings. Grunfeld shooting over Seasting. And Walton gets position for the rebound. They are starting the break with that outlet pass quickly to Bird. Knicks are back defensively. And they're going to call the foul on Ernie Grunfeld. He was all over the back of Scott Wedman.
We're going to see coming up on Where's the Bench here right now, the contribution over the years that the Celtics bench has made. Their championship season, 35 points a game, and it's down to 22 this season. So they're really having offensive woes there.
Of course, they have a lot of new faces, and they're just trying to get the chemistry going as well.
What's really significant, Dick, is that bench changes its personality. They're not inside players, they're outside players.
Wedman missing the shot. Actually, Walton is the only reserve that you can rely on from inside play.
Their championship season, don't forget, Kevin McHale was the 6th man. And he's a heck of an inside offensive player.
James Bailey in the lane. They don't expect scoring from Bailey. That's a bonus. They like his rebounding and shot blocking abilities. He's had an injured knee, and Hubie Brown looking for a contribution from him today. 25-18, the Celtics lead. 2 minutes gone by, second period. Walton falls down, and here comes Wilkins. He's fast. Walker on the break, and traveling call.
Hubie Brown says that one of the reasons we're having trouble with the fast break is we don't have enders. Well, Wilkins and Walker should be enders, in my opinion. They can stuff them on the fly.
They ended the break for the Celtics, and the Knicks missed an opportunity.
It's kind of interesting to me, Dick, on what the Celtics are trying to do with this second unit to break that offensive slump. They're trying to continue the same style as the first unit by getting the ball inside to Walton. Walton is really not as good an offensive player as a McHale or a Parish, but he still can produce some points in there.
Patrick Ewing comes back in the ball game. James Bailey goes out, and actually, when you think about it, the Knicks bench didn't do all that bad. They were down by 7, and that's what they're down right now.
I'm surprised Hubie Brown with that second unit didn't put that full court zone press on and really try and foul up this Celtic team.
Maybe it's a secret weapon. McHale, who's no secret weapon, misses the rebound shot out of bounds. Still Boston ball. Larry Bird, who's leading everyone in scoring with 10 points, getting a breather here.
Well, I'll tell you, when he gets on the bench for more than 4 or 5 minutes, he stiffens up. So he'll go through all kinds of contortions trying to loosen that thing up while he's sitting there.
Carlisle and Seasting, the backup guards in there for the Celtics. Good fake by Carlisle. Off the side of the backboard, and it's going to be Nick's ball. So now with Wilkins in and Ewing coming. Walker, you have some speed in there for New York.
This is really a good defensive ball club, but it looks to me like they're going to pound it up and try and get it inside again.
That's Hubie Brown's philosophy, and that served him well in Kentucky and Atlanta. There's some grumbling here in New York, however. Cummings turnaround. Knicks continue to have their problems putting the ball in the basket. Nearly 3 minutes gone by in the second period. Knicks still haven't scored into the 20s yet. Seasting all alone with a 5-minute. They get Carlisle on a feed from McHale.
That's where McHale has really improved. Seeing the double and picking out the open man. Makes you want to forget about doubling him when he makes passes like that.
Seasting came over from trade and deal with Indiana. Grunfeld hits outside. Leading Knicks scorer is Cummings with 6 points. McHale. Baseline missing. Cummings the rebound. The Celtics starting front line has as many points as the Knicks have. They tried the alley-oop to Ewing. It doesn't work. work, but Walker winds up with the ball.
That was a bullet pass. Almost broke the glass.
Walker has a 3-inch height advantage on Seasting. Gerald Wilkins penetrating. Walker, he's having a horrendous year shooting. 38% shooter from outside and not that much better from the free throw line. Seasting got free.
That is Seasting's addition to the Celtics. Medium range to long distance outside shooting, which really helps you in the inside game. It pulls the defense away from the big guys.
He was a starter with the Indiana Pacers.
Well, they really wanted him bad, the Celtics.
Walker has a shot blocked by Walton. Celtics with a chance to open it up to 11 points with 7.5 to play in the half. Carlisle to Walton in an offensive foul called against Carlisle. Couldn't quite make up his mind what to do with it.
As soon as he saw Ewing show up, he had a different idea. Here's Walton coming into the play. That's what he adds to the Celtics. Good defense, penetration. That was McHale swatting it away. And that's two good shot blockers inside for the Celtics. Walton and McHale and Robert Parish. They got some real premier inside defenders.
Now the Celtics have their starters except for Seasting's presence. And a double dribble called against Ewing and the Knicks as Lewis Orr come in. So we have seen the reserves, and now we're getting the starters shuttled back in on both sides. Brunfeld going out, but the Knicks are shooting 32% for the floor.
I think if the Knicks were going to make some ground, they would have had to do it with that second unit, because that's where the Celtics were having their problems.
22nd timeout called by Casey Jones, Jimmy Rogers, and the Boston Celtics. You know, it's been a surprise around the league has been the impressive play of the Midwest Division. A lot of people used to just, you know, forget about them, but look at that. All but 2 teams are playing over 500 ball, and for a while, 5 out of 6 were over 500.
I'll tell you, Denver plays that running game, and the real surprise is San Antonio, where everybody said, well, they'll finish last, but there they are, 17-12, a real tribute to Cotton Fitzsimmons.
No one argues about Denver's defense anymore. They run, they have a good time. Doug Moe is a tremendous coach, and they do play the good defense, and of course, Houston has Elijah Wan and Sam.
Well, with those 2 big guys, you got to win an awful lot of basketball games, and I think they're getting their style of play down. And should the Celtics or the Lakers falter in either of those conferences, I'll tell you, there's a lot of teams ready to step on board and take it on.
Seasting into Bird. Taken away from him from behind by Orr. 9-point Boston lead. The Knicks have not had the lead today. Sparrow misses a wide-open shot. Knicks get another opportunity. 6:45 remaining in the first half.
That's the type of shot that you can't afford to miss, a wide-open jumper.
Cummings going strong to the hoop. How many times have you seen the Knicks get second shots inside?
They're not banging. This is not exactly the best of rebounding teams, the Knicks, even though Cummings is a heady rebounder.
McHale is fouled.
But Patrick Ewing is just learning his craft as a rebounding pro. From what I saw in that first game, he waits too long to go for the board.
Second personal foul on Rory Sparrow, and already the Knicks have 4 team fouls. They trail by 9 and will take a timeout. 29-20, Boston leading New York here on Christmas Day. And of course, Tommy, you talked about teams faltering and maybe giving problems to Boston or LA. Right now, it looks like it's Boston and Los Angeles way ahead of the pack, and I don't think that there's another club that can say we can beat them right now.
With the current personnel that they have on their rosters, but they could be injured dramatically if a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar went down for the Lakers. They don't have an adequate replacement. They'd be right back in the pack. And if Walton or Robert Parish got injured for a prolonged period of time for the Celtics, they could be right back in the pack.
But barring that,
they ought to go all the way. But I would say that Pat Riley must have gone to Lourdes for the cure for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He's 39 years of age. He's playing like 24 years of age.
Everyone would love to have that formula. McHale is on the line. The Knicks have scored only 6 points so far in this period after scoring 6 points in the last half of the first stanza. McHale makes the free throw.
This definitely hasn't been an offensive extravaganza, Dick.
Well, the Knicks can do that to you with the way they play their style, but the Celtics haven't been able to score many points. They're leading by 11, and that's their biggest lead of the ball game now, 31-20.
Well, we just saw that switching defense of the Celtics catch them, and the Knicks alert to it. Seasting had to switch out on a big guy, and they take it immediately into the low post, and Seasting fouled, so they wouldn't score an easy hoop.
Only the first team foul on the Celtics. Parish blocks Patrick Ewing. And the Celtics with an 11-point lead and halfway through the second period, trying to raise it some more. Orr is all over Bird. 8 seconds on the clock. Parish gets his own rebound. Gets the ball out to Dennis Johnson. New clock, of course. Seasting from the corner here. You know, we talked yesterday. Hubie Brown says if the Celtics have any vulnerability, it's the fact is that they're not a fast team and you can break on them. But the Knicks have converted only 1 of 7 fast break opportunities. And what can Hubie Brown do?
Well, you better get the ball off the boards first. That's what starts it. We're going to see some Robert Parish defense coming up right now as Ewing is out in the lane. Parish kind of keeps some distance between him and Ewing so that he can cut him off at the pass and then gets his hand on the ball. Forces you to come back to you when you force the man underneath the basket. He can't shoot the ball through the glass. He's got to bring it right back to you. And Parish is sitting there waiting for it.
Well, you talk about getting the rebound. Hard team to rebound against, but they're 1 in 7 in the fast break chances, and you can see Hubie Brown giving the pep talk on the 22nd opportunity. Fact is, without King and Cartwright and Ewing handling the burden with Cummings in support, the Knicks really are under the gun and really are, you know, it's almost like Custer's last stand out there.
Well, they were showing signs of improving until this first half here. The Celtics have really laid a number on them. They're having difficulty even running their set offense, let alone the fast break.
Brown has been totally out of the game. Not much for them to cheer about. Tucker missing on a runner.
Celtics trying to keep that pace going. Long outlet pass.
All the way Sparrow feeding Ewing. And Patrick Ewing is fouled. Good penetration by Sparrow as he got the ball to Ewing.
And that was really a heck of a pass because Parish didn't move too far from Ewing. He's not going to let Ewing get the ball easily. So on any kind of penetration, Robert Parish is using good judgment.
Ewing has scored only 2 points in the ball game.
He's had some easy shots, too. It's
Ainge has come in the ball game, and Seasting goes out.
A lot more body going on in this ball game against Ewing to knock him off his rhythm than was in that first game we telecast. Even though he's playing against Moses Malone in that game.
Ewing is 1 for 5 from the field. 11-point lead for the Celtics. Tucker defending against Dennis Johnson.
Looks like they're going to trap.
There it is. Cummings helping out. McHale left open. Ewing closes in, and McHale off the rim, tipped up and in by Robert Parish.
Well, Robert Parish was rebounding against Louis Orr, and Louis, even though he tried to block him out, Parish still had the size advantage. That's what happens against that press defense.
4:40 remaining in the first half. Once again, a 13-point Celtic lead matches their biggest lead. They double Ewing. Sparrow penetrating again. But Parish with another rebound. He's got 9 already in the game.
The Knicks are nowhere to be seen on the boards.
Dennis Johnson misses, and Parish knocks it away, and the Knicks have it, and they'll bring back Ken Bannister. Pat Cummings goes out of the ball game. Cummings has scored 6 points, and Hubie Brown will tell you that if he doesn't have a big game, the Knicks are in a lot of trouble.
Well, Bannister is in there to bang the boards a little bit, too, and use that wide body as they're losing the battle of the glass.
Tucker hits from outside. Cummings with 6 is the high scorer for the Knicks.
You know, Casey Jones feels that some of these players of the Knicks have been maligned. He thinks they got 3 great guards, Tucker, Sparrow, and Darrell Walker.
Parish in the lane. Of course, I don't know of any coach that ever did not play up the opposition. McHale missing. Bannister the rebound with 3:40 to go. Knicks will try to cut it under 10 with a basket here. Ewing. Good touch there for Patrick Ewing, who has 6 in the game.
Let me tell you something right now, Dick. I think think that the Knicks, as badly as they're playing, they're still in this ball game. The Celtics haven't been absolutely devastating offensively either.
No, the Knicks are making the Celtics play their game. It's just that the Celtics are winning at it. Bird found Parish, and somebody found Parish for the foul. Trent Tucker, second personal foul. Knicks have been in the penalty, and so Robert Parish will go to the line.
Bird is so smart. As soon as you turn your head on defense and don't know where the ball is, the ball will go right by your ear. That's what he did to get the ball to Parish.
And in front court scoring, the Celtics have outscored the Knicks now 27-18. Lead is 11 for Boston. Corey Sparrow. Ewing given some room by Parish outside. 9 on the clock. Tucker short, long range, out of bounds. And it's Celtics ball, and we'll have a timeout. Boston in control. The Knicks have scored just 26 points in this ball game with 2:54 remaining in the half. Minutes remaining in the second period, and for a look at what's coming up at the half, here's Pat O'Brien.
Coming up, our special Christmas Day at the half, a present for you Bernard King fans. You'll see the first pictures of his rehabilitation from knee surgery. We'll tackle the rumor mill. Is Ralph Sampson leaving Houston? And what would Christmas Day be without our Christmas poem? All that and more coming up at the half.
And there's Bernard King, and it was a year ago on Christmas Day. King had a sensational game. He scored 60 points against the Nets. The Nets, however, won the game. What about the job Dave Wall is doing with the Nets this year?
Boy, they've been absolutely fantastic, and I tell you, he's making an imprint on that team. He gave a little static to Otis Bird's song and to Michael Richardson. I'll tell you, he's around.
Bird missing, but Celtics clawing for the rebound. Alley-oop to Ewing. That woke the crowd up. 2.5 to play. Bird missing. And now the Knicks with an opportunity to get something going before the end of this first half.
You know, this game is like a schoolyard basketball game played at nighttime with the lights out.
They're going to count the basket. Goaltending called against the Celtics. Louis Orr will get credit for the basket. And now it's a 37-30 game. And as you pointed out, Tommy, like they're playing this game in molasses. It's like the Knicks are hypnotizing the Celtics, who had the lead, but now it's 7.
Well, sometimes when you play against a better opponent, you play better.
Basket will count, and a foul in addition.
When you play against a lesser opponent, you play to that level, and coaches are very aware of that. But here you're going to see the potential of what the Knicks can possibly do with a Patrick Ewing. He's got great speed, and when he gets up the court, he makes a heck of a target.
That got the crowd going. Little excitement, and that's what the fans expected from Patrick Ewing. Meanwhile, following the goaltending call against Bannister, McHale makes good on a 3-point play, and it's 40-30 in favor of the Celtics with 2 minutes to go in the half. Bannister. The animal, as he's called. Short. Celtics have had to play this half slow down fashion. You know, they didn't want to do that. Orr knocks it away, but he'll be called for the foul.
Well, that's how smart the Celtics are. They were looking for the matchup they wanted to work on, knowing that Bannister's in there and Ewing at the same time. He's going to have to be guarding a much bigger player. That time he ended up picking up Parish, and they slowed the ball down until they couldn't cover Parish.
Orr, with 3 personal fouls, goes out of the ball game, and Ernie Grunfeld checks in. Parish on the line.
This guy, Robert Parish, Dick, is an unheralded player in a lot of people's minds. Up in Boston, every once in a while, you hear them. Robert Parish isn't playing well. I'll tell you, he is rebounding better this year than he has in any of the previous seasons I've seen him.
Well, he knows he has Walton coming in behind him, so he can go all out as quick as he can. Doesn't have to pace himself. Once again, the Celtics are up by 11. Their biggest lead was 13. And Rory Sparrow hits from outside. He's been the only consistent outside shooter for the Knicks. If you want to call 3 baskets outside shooting. McHale, turnaround, traveling call against McHale. You know, you made a point about Parish. A lot of people forget that he went in the playoffs last year against Cleveland and all those bangers, and then Lane Beer, Moses Malone, and Kareem. That's a tall order.
And not a lot of rest did he get during that series, any of those series.
Knicks had an inside shot they couldn't convert. Under a minute to play in the first half. 3-point attempt by Larry Bird. He'll always hit that 3-pointer in crunch time, and of course, with less than a minute to go in the half, he gives the Celtics a 12-point lead.
He likes to take the shots that can break your spirit.
Coming back short is Brent Tucker. Parish the rebound. Parish has 10 rebounds in the game. McHale against Bannister inside. Ewing with the block. Helping out, and a good play by Patrick.
But that's what the Celtics try and do. Quick post-ups.
26 seconds to go, and a foul away from the ball against the Celtics, and that will be their 15th foul, and the Knicks will shoot. That's Larry Bird's second personal. That's their first foul in the last 2 minutes and 14th foul. Next one will put him in the penalty. Ewing elbows Bird, and Bird just stares at him.
He gave it to Stanislavski defense. Method acting there, Dick. Ewing just put up his elbow and watched Bird take the super flop and convinces the referee that, man, did he hit me with a high hardwood.
Ewing didn't complain about it.
He's a rookie. He's not going to complain yet. Wait a year or two.
He complained. McHale. Parish on the other side.
Ewing had to help Bannister out as the Celtics are working that matchup.
Steele, Johnson misses at the buzzer. McHale with 11. Parish 11. Bird 13. That keeps the Celtics in business. And the biggest lead of the ball game at the half, 46-32 Boston. Pat O'Brien coming up at the half.
Our score at the half, Boston leads the New York Knicks 46-32. And hi again, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien. Once again, welcome to At the Half, a Christmas edition today. And our presents to you today come in the form of answers. Will Ralph Sampson be traded? Will Mark Aguirre and Dick Motta wish each other Merry Christmas? But the biggest question, I guess, around here, certainly in this city, has surrounded Bernard King. It was exactly 1 year ago today, as Dick Stockton pointed out, that Bernard scored 60 points in one game. He was at the height of his career. You might say that Bernard King was in a dream world, but it turned into a nightmare.
For me to score 60 points in a ball game was something I didn't believe I did. It was an incredible feeling I had that night. And to be doing it in New York City, the city where I grew up, was very, very special.
Just 3 months after that great night in a play against Kansas City under the basket, Bernard King's knee gave out. It seemed the dream was over.
It was a very serious injury. Essentially, what happened to Bernard is that his foot went out and it caused him to hyperextend like that. He tore this ligament, the anterior cruciate ligament. Very few, if any, professional basketball player has ever returned to his previous level of performance with a tear of this ligament. The moment that injury occurred, I knew how severe it was. Women that have had this same injury and that have given birth to a child have said that the pain is more intense than it is to give birth to a child. You can't take painkillers or aspirins for it. All you can do is scream very loud.
Push.
This is what Bernard King has been doing for the past 9 months. A torturous rehabilitation program, spending most of his waking hours tending to that knee. With the help of physical therapist Danya Schweitzer, the knee is coming back. Is it this kind of daily regimen harder than being a world-class athlete?
Absolutely. And it takes a different degree of concentration. You have to say to yourself, how much do you push it? How far do you go with it?
And rest. I always try to push him one step further than he can go. But I don't really have to push that hard because he has his own push. He drives himself.
It wasn't until 4 months ago that King returned to a basketball court. And in total secrecy, he worked on his basketball skills.
I'm trying to do all the things that I would naturally do during the course of a ball game. Now, I'm not doing it at the speed, and I'm not jumping with the strength and the power that I would when I'm healthy. But I see all the signs of all my skills still being there. And most importantly, the knee is stable.
So when are you coming back?
I can't say. But I do know today I will be back.
February, maybe March? Or is it going to be this season, do you think?
I'm hoping that it will be this season.
And Captain Bernard King.
Last week, King came out of seclusion, attended his first game since the injury. After a 9-month silence, he even met with the New York media. The question everybody is asking, can the dream ever resume? Will we ever see this Bernard King again? Can that knee ever hold up another superstar? Only one man has the answer. Only one man can predict.
All right.
I will be back.
And he will be welcomed back. Some sad news to report today on this Christmas Day. Dave Zinkoff, the longtime PA announcer for the Philadelphia 76ers at the Spectrum, died early this morning of complications following heart surgery. Zink was 75 years old, and he was one of the most memorable characters in the league. And you know, every time anybody saw Zink, we always said, Zink, you're my man. Well, Zink, you still are. Cold and windy outside Madison Square Garden, nice and warm inside as the Celtics lead the Knicks at the half. You know, our NBA news and notes this Christmas Day might be called News and Rumors. The news first. The Los Angeles Clippers' Jamal Wilkes has decided to call it quits effective immediately. The 12-year All-Star has been hampered for a couple of seasons by injury and illness. But it seems, you know, the number one rumor as I travel around is the rumor that has Ralph Sampson being traded from Houston to, well, you pick a team. And today I'm here to tell you that that indeed is a rumor, and a false one at that.
They don't like the way I'm playing, or he didn't like the way I was playing, or whatever else. If, you know, if that's the situation, and you don't think I'm in shape, cut me, trade me.
For last year's All-Star MVP, times are not so good now. In fact, Ralph Sampson is having anything but an All-Star season, averaging only 18 points a game, 4 down from last year, and leading the Rockets in turnovers. You gotta wonder what's gone wrong.
I think that the reason for his slump is that he might be trying too hard, and like I told him, maybe didn't work hard enough in the off season.
That seems to be the heart of the problem. Sampson's just not living up to Fitch's or even his own expectations, and the rumor has been that Ralph is walking.
I think we would be silly to trade Ralph Sampson. I really do. I just can't think of any player or two players that we would, or 3 players or 4 players that we'd want to make a trade for.
My contract is for 4 years. After this year, I have another year on that, and whatever happens after that, I guess we'll talk then.
And he has 2 years left on that 4-year contract. Meantime, over in Dallas, Mark Aguirre will attend practice tonight after being suspended by Coach Dick Motta. Aguirre was out 2 games after an argument with Motta. Motta claimed it was Aguirre's inability to get back on defense. One thing is for sure, those two did not exchange Christmas gifts this afternoon. And finally, our Christmas message to the NBA comes once again this year in the form of a video Christmas card. And through the magic of television, you can all open it at once. 'Twas Christmas Day, and all through the land, only 4 teams were playing this game so grand. Bird and McHale were doing their thing. Hubie wrote Santa, send Bernard King. Presents were wrapped and sent from the pole. One was a yardstick for Big Minute Bowl. Santa this year couldn't do it alone, so he called on the mailman, that's Karl Malone. The Lakers didn't ask, so full is their pot. Christmas came early with this Lucas shot. And how about 2 players who bring us magic? One is named Irvin, the other Dominique. On Galushkov, Isaiah, free and short. And on Sacramento, they're enjoying this sport. For the coaches, and oh, how there's pressure out there on Nelson's ejection and Pat Riley's hair. For Ewing, who sometimes is a one-man team, and how many more years will you play Kareem? The 2 letters J, Michael and the Doc, and for Mr. Bill Walton, who's turned back the clock. And pardon us now if we mention football's fixer, But the real refrigerator is Barkley, the Sixer. And sometimes the half is as good as the game. Look at this shot, a potato head with fame. With plays like this, Santa gives banners, and for a select few, a lesson in manners. Rookies Mullen and the X-Man, the things they do. And for all you short people, this Spud's for you. So here's to the pros in the NBA. Merry Christmas to all, and to all, a good day. We hope our poem caused you to laugh. I'm Pat O'Brien at the half. So kids, go on and get your daddy and mommy. Is coming up as the second half with Dick and Tommy. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Walton, basketball by Nike, and by Renault Jeep, official vehicles of the NBA.
Well, the New York Knicks cut the Celtic lead to 7 with 2:18 remaining in the first half, but then the Celtics woke up and doubled their lead the rest of the way, and now they have their biggest lead of the game, 46-32. And Tommy, it looks like the Celtics woke up, but they're not shooting very well, and it looks like they're playing the Knick game, but are successful at it.
I think what the Celtics are doing is making their inside game work, even though they're not shooting well, whereas the Knicks are having extreme difficulty with Pat Cummings and Patrick Ewing scoring inside. Even though they've had a lot of easy chances, they're not hitting their shots. That's their main offense, and they're not being good with it.
Tommy, let's take a look at the key statistics of this game. And, of course, everyone knows Boston's front court is awesome, but not to this degree. 35 and 21 rebounds to 16 and 11, totally outplaying New York there.
Well, the rebound department is the key factor, and we're going to see a little bit later on something that's important. But in the free throw department, Dick, that 17-4 advantage means that the Celtics are really taking it to the hoop, and the Knicks are not.
Now, this is a story graphically illustrating what the Boston Celtics inside play was all about.
They go to your weakest matchup, and this time it's Bannister, the smaller player, have to guard McHale. Look what happens. Ewing has to come over to help out, and as soon as he does that, there's Robert Parish all alone for an easy two. He gives him a free rebound if you try and go over there and help out when you shouldn't.
Okay. So that's the score, 46-32. By the way, the Knick guards, who must shoot from outside when Boston defends inside, are 5 for 19. So they're not getting the job done. Meanwhile, our next broadcast, the NBA on CBS, will be January 19th, Sunday at noon, when the Lakers go against the Detroit Pistons. Magic Johnson coming back to his home state of Michigan. Isaiah Thomas, always an exciting game because those clubs play that fast break end-to-end style, Lakers and Pistons. And, of course, as we mentioned at the top of our broadcast, all of us at CBS are delighted that we will be with the NBA. Extended our contract for 4 more years, beginning 1986-87 season, when we couldn't be happier. And, of course, that means exclusive coverage of the NBA World Championship Series. Leading scorers so far are Larry Bird and Patrick Ewing. Interesting that Kevin McHale is only 3 for 11 from the field.
He always seems to have some difficulties against the Knicks, and I don't think justifiably. He just has bad games. Certain teams you just don't do well against, and it looks like he has problems with the Knicks.
The Celtics are shooting 36%, well down to what they're used to. Knicks are 35%.
The Knicks, in order to get back in this ball game, I think really have to get out there and get aggressive on the defense, press, take away the inside game of the Celtics, make them go to the outside shot.
Tucker misses the shot. Now the Knicks guards are 5 for 20, and Parish at the other end burns them. So nothing has changed in the first foray up and down the court.
And that was not a nice thing to see at all. Coming out of the locker room, nobody hustling back to get Robert Parish. Come on, Knicks.
Did you play for the... No, I know it.
Oh, you just come out of the locker room, you let a guy go up on an uncontested layup?
Some officials, some coaches would call timeout immediately if they saw that. And, you know, Hubie wants to see if the Knicks can settle down. They're down 48-32, 16-point lead, biggest of the game. McHale, Cummings knocks it away. Good move by McHale. Cummings overplayed, and then McHale burned him going inside.
And he beat the double team alertly, too, on that play.
And now Hubie Brown encouraging his team. This is what a coach has to do, when to yell, when to have the velvet glove.
Particularly with a young ball club like this is, but here it comes inside. They're taking advantage of Cummings. He makes a wild gamble to try and make the steal because he knows he's a dead duck if he doesn't. And there's McHale on the catch, moving strong. with a team like this, a young team, a Patrick Ewing, you can't go get all upset. You have to wait till they grow into their roles with this ball club. And they know they really don't have all the parts yet to be a successful basketball team.
And, of course, King and Cartwright are hurt. That's really the story of the New York Knicks. 50-32, a big lead. Ewing misses. And a lot of green shirts are there, not allowing the Knicks to get second shots.
I'd say aggressive Trent Tucker, though, was on the boards banging from the guard spot. That showed me something.
McHale, Bird, and Parish all with 13 points in the ball game. That's 7 more than the Knicks have all together. Ewing, the rebound on Bird's miss, and Parish prevented him from getting the outlet pass, and the Knicks then turn it over.
He's a happy man. It looks like he's getting a Christmas present here early.
We knew one of them would. Less than 2 minutes gone by. 2-point attempt by Bird, missing. Celtics are getting back on defense. Ewing gets tangled up for the moment. Not much for the Madison Square Garden crowd on Christmas Day to cheer about so far. 4. And Bird gets the rebound. Johnson using McHale as a screen. Parish having a fine afternoon.
They just did not get to Parish quick enough with the double team.
And 12 rebounds for Robert Parish, along with his 15, and the crowd's a little displeased. Don't forget the NFC Wild Card Playoff is Sunday on CBS Sports. The defending Super Bowl champion 49ers against the New York Giants. Last season and 3 years before that, the Niners eliminated the Giants from the playoffs and went on to win the Super Bowl. But this time the Giants have the home field advantage and their best team in many years. Coverage begins with the NFL Today and studio guests Dick Vermeil and Joe Gibbs, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific, Sunday on CBS Sports. The feature on Giant quarterback Phil Simms. Following the timeout, illegal defense called against the Boston Celtics. That's Carl Banks, one of the outstanding linebackers, one of the many outstanding linebackers that the Giants will send against Joe Montana and the 49ers.
I'm surprised Hubie Brown in this second half has not put that real pressing defense to work against the Celtics. It makes you come up with at least a more aggressive attitude.
A loose ball foul has been called against Pat Cummings. Second personal foul, and remember when the Knicks had cut the Celtic lead to 7? Well, the Celtics have outscored the Knicks 15-2 since then, so all the Celtics needed was a little scare. 52-32, 20-point lead. And it's Knicks ball. Do you think sometimes the Celtics are bored?
That's what a lot of people are saying, that their competition is boring them to death. I don't think so. I think they do get a little complacent sometimes if they feel they can beat a ball club. But they've developed some problems with that bench. Today, the Knicks are not with it. Otherwise, we might be seeing some of those problems with the bench.
Parish outlets to Bird, pass to McHale, who travels.
But look how quickly they got that ball up the court, McHale. They're trying to break that rhythm, that tempo that they've been having trouble with. Run. So even on this rather difficult game, they're trying to establish something for the next ball.
Cummings goes out, and Gerald Wilkins checks back in for the Knicks. We'll try to get Ken Bannister in as well, but he's going to have to wait a while. It's 52-32, favor of Boston. The Knicks have never had the lead in this game.
He's got to try something.
Barrow isn't going to dribble into a crowd. Bird is guarding Tucker now. Ainge is on Lewis Orr. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Barrow better get it headed skyward. Just got it off in time, but missed. And here's Ainge ahead of the field. Tucker fouls it. And Ainge says it should be a 2-shot foul. And he's right. It is.
The Knicks have a rule, no layups on a fast break, but the Knicks are trying so hard to bang that offensive board that they're leaving their backcourt uncovered. If the Celtics can get the rebound, they've got 2 or 3 guys streaking up the court uncontested.
They're going to say that when that foul was on the breakaway, so it'll be 2 shots and retain the possession for the Celtics, and that's a rule that was put in
because of the playoffs and all the aggressiveness a couple of years in the playoffs. And a breakaway foul means that if you come from behind to try and catch the man and grab him, it's an automatic 2-shot, and you still retain possession of the ball.
Ainge, by the way, with his first points of the ball game on the free throw. Ainge and Dennis Johnson are 0 for 8 from the field. Shows you what that front court has meant for Boston today to open up that big lead. Bird on a feed from Dennis Johnson. Traveling call.
He knew Ewing was coming that time to block the shot. That's what forced the fake. That's called intimidation.
4 minutes gone by here in the third. Celtics got a scare and then run away from the Knicks. Or will go to the line and shoot 2.
That time they triple teamed Patrick Ewing. He's getting all pro treatment right now. Double teams, triple teams. Yubi Brown, we just saw on the screen, a very frustrated man. Here's the triple team. 3 guys around Ewing, forces the pass. He makes a good pass to Louis Orr to find the open man, and he ends up fouled on the free throw line. But Yubi Brown is under a lot of pressure here to produce. You know, it's not easy to coach in New York with all the press. Some people saying he should run a little bit more with the offense. Maybe he should.
Well, he knows one way to coach. The Knicks scoring their first point of this half with 7:48 remaining in the third period, 54-33. McHale with 2 seconds to Bird. And the basket counts.
But they worked that defense. They made them really rotate.
Missing is Wilkins.
That's not his best shot.
Dennis Johnson. McHale. No basket and 3 seconds called against the Celtics. The Knicks 9-19. The last time they beat the Celtics was the 6th game of their Eastern semifinal 2 years ago, and they extended the Celtics to 7 games in an exciting series. They haven't beaten Boston since then. Offensive foul called against the Knicks.
That was excellent defense by Dennis Johnson that time. The front, Ken Bannister.
And the Knicks are 0 for 7 from the field this period. Rory Sparrow with his contribution, a special one indeed. The Rory Sparrow Foundation, which helps kids in need live up to their fullest potential. He visited the YMCA in Harlem to sign autographs and play a little basketball with the youngsters. And his next stop was Harlem Hospital to bring gifts and to share Christmas joy with children not lucky enough to be home for the holidays. Rory Sparrow, with an engineering degree out of Villanova, the only Knick to start every game, a hard-working player, and as Hubie Brown said, the most consistent leader player that he's had.
He really works hard. He's a very good defensive player, and he seems to have gotten his confidence offensively. But not in this game.
Larry Bird puts a fake on Ewing, and a Knick foul. He was hit in the head. Ewing has a few words for Wally Rooney there, but it's going to be Ewing's foul, his 3rd personal foul. The Knicks have scored only 1 point in the last 7.5 minutes.
They try to press that time a little bit, get aggressive, take some kind of aggressive posture defense, hoping that will translate to some easy baskets. But they end up putting Bird on the foul line.
Larry Bird now with 16 points. He always seems to have a big game against the Knicks. 6 rebounds and 3 assists for the day.
You know, he's got quite a wit. Last year in the playoffs, some fan in Detroit said the Pistons are going to beat you. He said, "Fan, you got a better chance of seeing God."
He doesn't have much to say, but when he does,
yeah, it comes out.
It's going to sting. Bannister, feed back to Sparrow. Wilkins. This is the jumper, and Bird gets the rebound. Double dribble, discontinue. We'll turn it over to the Knicks. Ernie Grunfeld will check back in. Well, Well, so far this year has been anything but what the New York management and fans expected. You know, they saw Patrick Ewing here winning the lottery, as you saw at the top of our program. We said Christmas came early, but it's not been a Merry Christmas for the Knicks.
I'll tell you, Dick, if you were going to compare the Knicks to a Christmas present, the Knicks you would open the box, you'd find 1,000 parts, the instructions missing, and every time you put one of the parts together, it would break.
Right. The Knicks were 0 for 10 before that basket by Grunfeld. Bannister. I don't know how many times today the Knicks have managed to put 4 points in a row together. That'd be something to check out.
This is real offensive problems that happen today.
McHale inside.
I tell you, Kevin McHale is just missing the easiest of shots.
Bannister, he hits 2 in a row, and now the Celtics want to call a timeout. 58-39. Their lead is not challenged right now. 5:22 to go. General manager of the Knicks, Alan Cohen, is sitting right in front of him. He is one of the owners of the Boston Celtics. Both look to be pensive, but you know that DeBusschere is suffering more than Alan Cohen.
Looks like nobody wants to sit next to him either.
Jerry Seasting has come in the ball game along with Bill Walton for the Celtics, and the Knicks committing a foul, and that's Patrick Ewing's 4th foul. 52 points is the lowest amount that the Knicks have scored after 3, and they're going to have to go a ways to surpass that mark as Cummings comes back in the ball game. Ewing goes out for New York. Ewing has 8 points and 5 rebounds. It's been a Boston day. Winding down to 5 minutes to go in the period. Larry Bird and Scott Wedman in. Second unit in there now for the Celtics, along with Larry Bird. Walton gets the offensive rebound, shuffles it to Seasting. Bannister for New York. Bannister.
How well the Celtics block out on the boards. Up for Pat Cummings to have to guard Larry Bird on this floor right now.
It's been a game of tough matchup for the Knicks, period. Bannister trying to block out Wedman, does a good job, and the Knicks come back with a 3-on-2. Wilkins is fouled, and that's the first glimpse we've seen of a New York Knicks advantage on the break, and you get an idea of the kind of speed that Gerald Wilkins has.
Well, when he was playing a quick forward spot and they weren't fast breaking, the best part of his game wasn't being utilized. When he's in that big guard position right now, he's going to give him power on the boards, but you could use his speed at the quick forward spot.
Younger brother of Dominique Wilkins is having a fantastic year. Jimmy Brown told us all you can do as a coach is get the players to play to their potential with what you have to work with.
Well, when you have to count on the very beginning of the season, 2 rookie players in your starting lineup, you're behind the 8 ball to start with. And then with Cummings going down for the 6 games, didn't make it any easier, and the late signing of Louis Orr. So he's really had monumental problems to deal with.
Walton inside against Bannister and Cummings. Coming out of it is Sparrow.
Parish in there, no fear of going to the hoop.
And the Knicks showing some rare flash in this game. 58-43, 15-point lead for the Celtics, 3:45 to go in the 3rd period. Bird. And the Knicks.
This unit in there for the Celtics has been the one that's concerning Casey Jones. They have not been productive of late.
What does he want him to do? Just hold the fort till the starters come back?
Yeah, or pick up the pace of the game to come out with something positive, not necessarily increase the score.
And we'll have a foul against the Celtics. Jerry Seasting. The Knicks have scored 10 straight points, and Robert Parish on the bench for the Celtics has opened things up for the New York Knicks, who had only managed to score 4 points in a row on 3 occasions before this run.
Celtics with this group in here now, I think, are trying the fast break.
Wilkins going strong against Walton, who gets the rebound and throws it away.
Well, You can see how quickly he wanted to get that ball out to get that fast break starting. Unfortunately, nobody was out there for the outlet pass.
McHale in the game, as you saw, and the Knicks with 3:10 to go in the period, trying to cut the Celtic lead to 13. Bannister goes strong inside, but goes off the rim.
With McHale back in the ball game for Larry Bird, they'll slow it down and perhaps go a little bit more to McHale.
Got Wedman from outside. Bird is the high scorer with 17 points.
Casey Jones has experimented several times on how to use this bench that's supposed to have so much promise. He started using them 5 at a time. Now he's back to filtering them in with a couple of the starters.
Bannister missed an opportunity. Wedman outside. Sparrow picked up by Seasting. And it's 60-45 with 2:14 to go. Sparrow is in double figures with 10. And the Knicks scoring leader today, as Ewing has 8 points and he's on the bench right now.
Well, Ubi's letting them just play right now, and they're liking it.
They're getting some results. Under 2 minutes to go in the third period. Knicks trying to scrap back in this game. Seasting no good. Cummings the rebound. Knicks were down by as many as 25. Sparrow drives in. And the crowd is on its feet, and Ewing may not be, but he's along with the applause. 13-point lead. The crowd thought there was a traveling violation. So did Hubie Brown. 7 on the shot clock. Ainge for 3. And it's Knicks ball with 1:22 to go, and they may be back in the game, Tommy.
The second unit is still having offensive problems for the Celtics. Here's Sparrow, who pushes the ball up and now knows that Parish is not in there, goes against the basket strong against Scott Wedman.
The Knicks are on a 14-2 run to cut the Boston lead to 13. And Cummings has his shot blocked by Kevin McHale. Bird is on the bench, so is Robert Parish. But if the Knicks continue to chip away, you'll see the two of them coming in a hurry. Under a minute to go in the third. McHale. And they're going to call the foul against the Knicks, and Grunfeld claims Boston might have been involved. Cummings with his third personal, and now James Bailey checked in, giving Cummings a rest.
Kevin McHale has developed some real fine offensive moves in addition to that fall-away jump shot that's been so effective for him for the last few years. He's learning how to put the ball on the floor a lot more effectively.
Sam Vincent is into the ball game. His first appearance, the #1 draft pick out of Michigan State, and the man the Celtics think is going to be their future playmaker.
He's got the same potential for this ball club that Tiny Archibald had in one of their championship years when Bill Fitz was coaching the Celtics. He can penetrate, and he can really make that fast break sing.
They brought him along slowly, as the Celtics do with all of their rookies. 43 seconds to go. Bailey working against Walton. Scoops it up. A little bit too hard off the glass, and Vincent cleared. Seasting. Walton filling the lane. And a good play by Seasting in particular.
Yeah, but the guy that made it was Sam Vincent. Got the rebound and got his head up and looked up the court. That got everybody running.
16-point lead once again. The Knicks had it down to 13. Bannister setting a pick on a pick and roll. Walton defending. Bailey will go to the line. He's fouled.
Casey Jones has a feeling that Sam Vincent may be the key to unleashing the potential of that second unit. Here's Walton, who has hustled up after that long pass up the court to Seasting. He slips right down the middle before the defense can get in to stop him.
4 points and 6 rebounds for Bill Walton. And here's James Bailey. In his 7th year, he once went to the Final Four with Rutgers in the NCAA tournament.
Kind of a guy that's gone from team to team to team, and it makes me wonder, are the teams wrong, or is James Bailey not that good a player? I always thought he was a great rebounder and a good inside player. I think some people are trying to make him more than he really was capable of being.
Bannister goes out, and Lewis Orr comes in. Bannister, 6 points and 11 rebounds, has played very well today. maybe largely going unnoticed. Trap defense, turns it over. 2-on-1, Wilkins all the way. Down to 13 again. Vincent and Wilkins, a couple of racehorses. And the Celtics throw it away with 2 seconds to go. Vincent off of Wedman.
He's finally using the trap press defense. They're getting very aggressive, the Knicks.
And a foul in the basket. You don't expect to see that.
Well, that down and out pattern with the clock running out. I don't think Bailey, once he caught it, if he'd been unmolested, would have been able to really get the shot off. The foul kind of more or less helped him. And there he is. Watch Walton's face. It definitely is not a good Christmas.
1 second to go in the third period. Bailey makes the free throw. And listen to the crowd as the Knicks have come within 10. That's the end of the third period with the score. The Celtics 63, the Knicks 53, and we'll return after this word from your local station.
Yes, today's game is sponsored by Renault Jeep, official vehicles of the NBA, and by Miller Beer. Miller made the American way since 1855.
Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn in Madison Square Garden, where the place is alive and kicking. The Celtics led by 25 points in the third period before the Knicks went on a run to narrow it to 10. In fact, they have outscored the Celtics 20-5 to cut the third period margin to 10.
But where has the defense, that zone press defense that's always been an integral part of what the Knicks do? Look what can happen to you. You can't hardly see anybody. They cover you so well. They put Seasting under pressure. Here's the pickoff, and in comes Gerald Wilkins to make something really happen and get this crowd alive. That defense can make you aggressive offensively as well as defensively. It goes to your brain.
And that's what the defense can do. It can make you cough up the ball. And so Casey Jones, not taking any chances, opens the final period with McHale, Parish, Bird, Johnson, and Sam Vincent in the backcourt.
And they're still pressing the Knicks.
It's a 10-point game. The question is, can the Knicks continue their surge, or have they run out of gas? Parish, foul.
Casey Jones counted with his smarter ball handlers, Dennis Johnson, who can handle the press, and Larry Bird. That press defense was effective against the smaller Seasting. Well, I'm very interested to see if Sam Vincent can handle it.
Foul is on Darrell Walker, and Parish on the line. Keep in mind that the Knicks did all of that damage to get back to within 10 with Robert Parish out of the game. Lead is 12, and Parish has 17. Bird 17. And Ewing, who's only scored 8 points in the ball game, with 4 fouls. Sparrow's the leading scorer. Wilkins hits outside. He's getting an opportunity here, and he has scored 6 points. And has been a spark plug for the Knicks as the trap goes on. Teams don't have a chance to work on this too often, and therefore a lot of times they cough it up. A loose ball foul has been called against Robert Parish of the Celtics.
Right now, the Celtics are going to have to devise an offense to defeat the trap. Here's the trap developed. They fake it, they give it to Bird, and it has to go to the reverse side before the rotation. Now, Parish is open underneath the basket, but by the mishandle creates just enough time for Bailey to get in and anticipate blocking it.
Wilkins trying to use a screen by Orr. Double team now, but goes in with a fine move. Gerald Wilkins. Out of the University of Tennessee in Chattanooga, sparking the Knicks. Go down by 25 at one point. Now with their pressing defense, trying to turn it over.
And where is your inside game now? That's what this defense does. Takes you away from the strength of what you like to do. I'm surprised they waited so long. As Wilkins using the screen, like his brother Dominique, comes strong to the hoop. Good up fake. What a great athlete.
Danny Ainge comes in for Sam Vincent, so no time for rookies as far as Casey Jones is concerned.
Not against UB Brown's press.
Nearly a minute and a half gone by in the fourth period. 65-57. It's an 8-point lead for the Celtics. Dennis Johnson with a fine shot over the hands of Darrell Walker, and that's the first basket of the ball game for DJ, who's 1 for 7. He has been awfully cold.
Celtic guards have not exactly been burning the net.
Or working against McHale. The rebound, Bailey. And the Knicks bench is perhaps, I would say, outplaying the Celtic bench in this game.
Well, this is not the Celtics bench right now. This is the first team.
Oh, but when they were before, they're going to call goaltending against Bailey.
I like James Bailey. He's got an aggressive attitude. He comes to play. He'll bang with you. He's put a little life into this Knicks team.
But the Knicks bench has been more productive than Boston.
That's exactly right, Dick. And that was one of the things. Casey Jones wants his bench to produce more, and they haven't in the last several games.
10-point lead remains that way as Grunfeld misses and Parish clears. Bird going baseline against Grunfeld. Larry Bird with 19 points. DeBusschere.
Still nobody sitting next to him.
Timeout called by the Knicks with 9:29 to go. 71-59, and the Celtics know how to go with the spurts and open it up. When the Knicks have pressed, they've gotten results. They didn't here, though.
The zone press takes you out of your normal offense. For the Celtics, that's inside play. But if you go out and take away the outside shot, Larry Bird's smart enough to put it on the floor and go by you, and you really don't get much help when that happens. So, but I like when the Knicks press because they get an aggressive posture, and it translates psychologically to their offense. They're on their toes. Their heads are into the game. When you play that passive defense, that's the way you end up playing offensively.
Patrick Ewing is back in the ball game, and you can see what the Knicks bench has done. Ewing has scored 8 points and has 5 rebounds. Larry Bird nearly steals the ball, but it's still New York possession. 9:19 remaining in the fourth period.
Boston has to regain domination of the style of play here for the remaining couple of minutes.
Ewing triple team and is held. A foul. Larry Bird, third personal foul. Making McHale with his third. 3 on McHale. No one is in any real foul trouble with the Celtics. Seasting has 4. Ewing has 4 for the Knicks. Team fouls, Boston 2 and the Knicks 1 here in this final period.
Chance for the momentum to slip to the Knicks right now.
Ewing. Wilkins keeps it alive. Wilkins. He is not reluctant to go to the hoop, and Gerald Wilkins has 10 points now.
And here comes the press once again.
Grunfeld trying to tie up Parish. Bird, 3 points from the corner. And the Knicks are off and running.
That's where they wanted Bird to shoot from.
Ewing. And the long pass down court. McHale. Foul. That's a smart foul, but that's what Boston has to do. But Huey Brown likes what the Knicks are doing here.
Here's the ball coming over to Bird, dead in the corner. And watch what they do. They go right at Bird to take away that shot. They know that he can hit that shot, but they want to put him under pressure to shoot it. And away they come with the ball. That's good defense right now. The Celtics at this stage would much prefer to get the ball inside to McHale or Parish. This defense won't allow it.
Grunfeld with the personal foul and the second team foul on New York. Kevin McHale gives the Celtics a 10-point lead again with 8.5 minutes to go. Knicks have converted their last 5 fast break opportunities.
And they've got a small 5 in them,
which is a testimony to the fast break style. Ewing, though, popped from outside. Patrick has 12, and once again it's down to 8 points.
This is the best press team that they have.
Foul inside. They got it to the big man inside, however. you don't win all the time on the press, and Lewis Orr has committed the foul. That's 4 on Orr.
If you can get the ball to the middle against that press and swing it one more pass to the away side of the ball, you usually can get a layup.
Rory Sparrow, you saw, came back in the ball game for the Knicks. So it's Sparrow and Wilkins in the backcourt for New York, or Grunfeld and Ewing. 74-65, one free throw. They go into the big man. Wilkins back to Ewing. Foul. And that's what the Knicks are going. They're going the fist, as Hubie Brown says. Power game all the way.
Very important to make sure you get a good shot. Here it comes in. And watch Bird protect the baseline against Ewing to make sure he can't roll that way. They force him back into the middle, but Ewing showing a lot of patience that time to end up getting fouled by McHale.
That was Parish with his foul. That was 3 on Parish.
All right.
So Parish is 3, McHale 3, and Bird has 2 on front line.
Psychologically right now, very important for the Celtics to prove to the Knicks that they can beat this press at least twice up the floor.
Ewing misses both free throws with under 8 minutes remaining. 9-point lead. Parish with 16 rebounds and a steal by Grunfeld. Here's Wilkins. And Bird is surrounded by white shirts and takes it out himself. Nearly turned it over. Parish with a short jumper, and he's got 20 points in the ball game. He is the game's high scorer and high rebounder, Robert Parish.
The other way to defeat the press is off the rebound, get it up quick before those Knicks feet can get back there and work the press.
Ewing, long range, hook shot. Celtics by 9, and a lot of time remaining in this game, which has turned out to be an exciting one from the early going. McHale is hit by Orr and Wilkins. They're going to give the foul to Wilkins, his first personal foul.
Larry Bird has been a designated zone press breaker, either by hitting the outside shot or if they attack him by finding the open man. That time he got it beautifully to Kevin McHale.
You're the Knicks, and Bird keeps on finding that seam, so to speak, and breaking the press. Do you change up at all?
Not right now. That's what's given them some momentum, the Knicks. At least put the feeling in their heads that they can win this game. And they were walking around with snowshoes on for the first 3 quarters.
And actually, so were the Celtics.
Yep.
10-point game, Boston in front. About a minute more than halfway remaining in this 4th period.
And this is a small Knick team once again. Again, Louis Orr playing power forward. Come on.
Orr. And Orr. Offensive foul. Trent Tucker, known for his outside shooting, will come in. Orr goes to the bench with 5 personal fouls. And we'll be back. We're at Madison Square Garden in New York, where the Knicks are trying to make it interesting, at least for the Boston Celtics. And we want to remind you, the wild card playoff game, the 49ers and the Giants. The Giants with the home field advantage against the defending Super Bowl champions. All begins with the NFL today, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. Dick Vermeil, who knows the Niners, and Joe Gibbs, who knows the Giants, will be talking about it this Sunday. Well, it looks as if the Knicks are saying, you've got all the big frontline people, Celtics. We're going to go with speed and try and beat you down the court with our defense sparking the way.
Unfortunately, the best team for defense to execute that press is a small team. Louis Orr now has to play power forward. Pat Cummings is back in the ball game now, but that with Cummings, with Orr and Wilkins at the forward spots, that really gives them a speedy press team. Now they've kind of adjusted that with Cummings in. He's not that good against the press.
Look at the Knicks shooting, 73%. Boston not shooting badly, but the Celtics have come back, or the Knicks have come back, 6.5 minutes to play. Orr is playing in there with 5 personals. Parish with another rebound. That's 17 for him.
This Knick team on the floor right now will not be as effective with the press as the prior team that was out there before the timeout.
Bird, line drive shot, Ewing the rebound. So maybe the Knicks won't press. But they look like they're going to go to their power game with Cummings and Ewing, with Wilkins out of there now. Tucker a good outside shot. So once again, the Knick guards are going to have to hit when they're open. And Sparrow does there.
It came off the pick beautifully.
Sparrow has 14, Tommy.
This is a basketball game.
Rory's hit his last 4. Down the crunch, you know, it's Larry Bird is the man you always have to watch. McHale going in. Cummings bodies him well, and now the Knicks can cut it to 6 with a basket here. Ewing made the most of a bad pass, and the Celtics commit a foul. That's their 4th team foul, and it's on Robert Parish, number 4 on the cheat. Larry Bird has 19 points, and you know, when it gets down to it, Bird is 7 for 22 for the day. Forget about what he's done earlier.
I'll tell you, his outside shooting is very important in this game, and he's not hit an awful lot of those.
Cummings over McHale. Knicks, Ewing, off balance. Parish finally comes down with it.
Celtics will have a chance to use their inside game. Unfortunately for the Celtics, McHale has not had a hot night either.
Tucker is on Ainge. Bird trying to get free inside. Parish over Ewing. Or the rebound. Under 5 minutes remaining. 4:47. And an 8-point lead for the Celtics. They had a lead of 25 in the 3rd period. And now the Celtics will be over the limit with their 15th foul of this 4th period. Dennis Johnson.
Hubie Brown made a big gamble when he put Cummings in there. Says, I need a little bit more offense, even though it'll give the Celtics a chance to work their big guys in those matchups in a low post, because we can't press. I'm gambling with that, and so far it's worked out. Parish and McHale unable to hit in that low post.
The Knicks came into the game with the worst free throw percentage in the NBA at 67%, and Sparrow misses both, or saves it. Basket good and a foul.
It helps to be skinny. He had the outside position. He just slithered right by, I believe it was Robert Parish, for that inside position on the missed free throw. There he is. Quick to the point, up and in.
Danny Ainge with his 2nd personal foul, and a 3-point play for Lewis Orr. It's now a 5-point game, and the Knicks have made up 20 points between the middle of the 3rd period and right now, with nearly 4.5 to play. And the New York crowd is in a fever pitch right now. Parish, and a foul is called against the Knicks, who now are over the limit. Rory Sparrow with his 3rd, and the Celtics will shoot 2.
Knicks are working extra special hard right now, and the Celtics were not able to destroy the rhythm of that press to prove to them that they could beat it, and it's taken effect on them.
Well, people talk about what style should Hubie Brown use. One thing they get out of him, they play hard for him. That's our story in the 4th period, and with 6.5 left in the 3rd, the Celtics had a 25-point lead. There's the timeout story. The Celtics and the Knicks each with 3, and the Celtics have a 22nd in addition. But the Knicks, who are down by 25, now trailed by 5 points. And with 4:27, what can we look for, Tommy?
Well, it's a tantalizing dilemma for Hubie Brown. Do I press, pick up the pace of the game to keep the ball out of the middle, out of the hands of McHale and Parish, leave it in the hands of Larry Bird? Or do I try to enhance my own offense by putting Pat Cummings in, who doesn't quite press so well? It looks like he's going to stay with Cummings and hope that his offense also produces.
Parish having a fine game, winning that battle. Ewing and Sparrow each with 14, and Parish with 20, the high scorer. Parish, by the way, has tied his season's high with 17 rebounds. Nowhere near his career high of 32, but he hits the free throws, and it's a 7-point Boston lead.
Very important possession here for the Knicks to prove that they can score when the game is slowed down.
He's swinging around. Sparrow is open for the moment. Ainge picks him up. A lot of elbows inside. Ewing and Parish, and Patrick Ewing banks it in. 4:05 remaining now in the 4th period.
That's got the Celtics thinking.
Ewing with 16 is the high scorer for New York. And we're going to see Gerald Wilkins and his speed come in a moment. Bird, guarded by Orr. Tough shooting game for Larry Bird. Not that time.
New York couldn't believe it, Dick.
You throw out the statistics. I don't care what he's been shooting. Down the stretch, he's a different guy. Lead is 7 again. Ewing backs it in. 18 for Patrick Ewing to keep the Knicks in the ball game.
That's what I like about Patrick Ewing. He's a competitor. He never tosses in the sponge.
And they're going to call the foul on Sparrow. And that'll send Dennis Johnson to the free throw line. Sparrow with 4 fouls. Gerald Wilkins comes back in the ball game. Trent Tucker goes out.
Well, Wilkins will be at that guard spot to really get up on the Celtic guards a little bit and perhaps help a lot easier on the double teams in the low post.
With all the good things Dennis Johnson does, one that can't be forgotten is the fact that he is a tremendous clutch free throw shooter down the stretch.
And he loves to take clutch shots on the court, not just free throws.
He missed the second. 3:20 to go and a 6-point lead. Ewing inside. Foul. And he'll go to the line. How many people expected the New York Knicks, who are getting blown out in the third period, and I certainly didn't want to see that as a possibility, to battle the way they have battled back, and they certainly haven't gone to the free throw line all that many times.
They did not get aggressive until the tail end of the third quarter, and that's been a mark of a UB Brown coach team. That defense really is very, very effective, and they didn't use it until the tail end of the third quarter. I was very surprised.
13 points. Now 14 for Ewing in this final period. The good ones rise to the occasion when it counts, and Ewing has done that. It's a 4-point game, and who would have thunk it? 82 to 78, 3:08 to go. Dennis Johnson picked up on a switch by Cummings. McHale was open for the moment. Ainge going in against Ewing. Offensive foul. Tommy, the Knicks' defensive rotation was nothing short of magnificent there.
Patrick Ewing in particular, he stepped right out there in front of Ainge after Ainge had kind of committed himself to the penetration. Smart move by the rookie.
And lo and behold, the Knicks can come within 2. Wilkins looking for Ewing. Remaining. It's a 2-point ball game. McHale against Cummings. A big shot by Kevin McHale, who has 21 points today.
But they let Cummings play McHale that time one-on-one. You can't do that.
They got too many guys you have to double, Tommy. Celtics. Ewing. Bird the rebound. Under 2 minutes to go. It's a 4-point Celtic lead. Dennis Johnson. And there'll be a foul, and the Celtics will go to the line.
One of the things the Celtics do so well is that they keep the pressure on you at a key point of the ball game by advancing it to see if your defense is really hustling. That time they caught a couple of the Knicks behind, not hustling, and they almost got a good shot of it. They end up with McHale on the line.
And Ewing took medium-range shot with a lot of people on him. He has been the man who has helped bring the Knicks back in the later stages. McHale with the free throw. Ewing on the game has 22 points.
I think the Knicks just waited a little bit too long to unleash that press.
McHale will be looking for his 23rd point. Well, you're absolutely right. When the press went into action, so did the Knicks. And the Knicks want a timeout, trailing by 6 with 1:51 remaining. And the Knicks have 2 timeouts remaining, trailing. They have really given the Celtics quite a scare. That's our our story with under 2 minutes to go in the final period, and the Knicks, who were down by 25 points midway through the third period, have battled back and actually trailed 82-80 before the Celtics have scored 4 in a row. We want to take the time to remind you that our next NBA broadcast will be January 19th when the Lakers, the defending world champions, and the team with the best record in the league take on the Detroit Pistons, Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer, and the fast-breaking Pistons, noon Eastern time.
We're going to see Ewing moments ago go strong to the hoop. That's a tough shot, but he never gives up. But look at the face coming up the court. It's Georgetown basketball again in his mind. We're taking it all, gang.
Everything but the undershirt, right? Meanwhile, each of the Celtics starting front line has double figures in points and rebounds, so no one can say that the Celtics haven't gotten it from their bread and butter today. See what the Knicks do here. Ewing taking it strong to the hoop. Tips it up and in. Ewing with 24 now.
Here comes the press again. Celtics will try and eat up the clock a little bit.
9 on the shot clock. Loose ball. The Knicks have it. 3-on-2 New York. Sparrow is wide open. Wilkins goes after the loose ball. Winds up in Dennis Johnson's hand, and that's the way the ball bounces. You could say it on that play, Tom. Celtics with a 4-point lead and the ball with 1:10 to go. 9 on the clock. And traveling against Larry Bird, and that's what Bill Walton thinks of that call.
I tell you, the Celtics have not gotten a good shot the last 2 trips up the court because of the press.
Ewing. And it's 86-84. Under a minute to play. Can the New York Knicks cap a phenomenal comeback here? They're down by 2. Ewing has 18 points in this fourth period. Dennis Johnson going in. And the Knickerbockers can tie it up. Foul is on Dennis Johnson. Talk about the bounce of the ball, Tom.
I will tell you this. Dennis Johnson showed me something. Took it strong to the hoop. Got it over Ewing. It was a difficult shot, but watch this now. The daring duo, they both go for the ball. Sparrow hustling. And DJ goes down and fouls Sparrow. So
Dennis Johnson didn't agree with that, but meanwhile, Rory Sparrow was on the line with a chance to tie it up. This is our amazing story if you haven't been around for a while, and now the Boston Celtics are faced with the fact that they have squandered a 25-point lead, and that's the timeout story. The crowd is going wild, but they're cool in the huddles. Let's talk about the Celtics first and then the Knicks, Tom.
Well, it's going to be Celtics ball, Dick. I wouldn't be a bit surprised for them to go to their strength, go to the matchup they think will work the best. That has been McHale against Cummings, who is still in the ball game, or perhaps Parish against Ewing.
And you must know that Hubie Brown and the New York Knicks figure that that's what the Celtics are going to do.
Well, we're looking at Larry Bird, and somebody will be on him. If they double down on the big people, maybe Dennis Johnson or Danny Ainge will have to hit that outside shot.
34 seconds to go in the fourth period, and this place is bedlam.
Well, work the clock down.
Bird is waiting. They're looking at McHale. Coming all over him. 8 on the shot clock. McHale in close, stripped away. 13 seconds to go. The Knicks can take the lead. And the Celtics have it. 2 seconds to go. Dennis Johnson's shot. No good. We're going to overtime. Each team had a chance to get the go-ahead basket. And we're going to a 5-minute overtime session. Tied in New York, 86-86. Game that has boggled the mind. The New York Knicks, with a 9-19 record, trail the Boston Celtics by 25 points with 6.5 minutes to go in the third period. They started their comeback and now have sent the Boston Celtics, with the second-best record in the league, into overtime, 86-86. In an improbable script, and Patrick Ewing has been the engineer.
And very effective offensively down that stretch. But that press defense is what really did it for the Knicks. It got them going aggressively to the basket.
In the overtime period, 5 minutes, on the fourth foul, teams will shoot a bonus. They tack on 1 timeout, so the Celtics have 3 timeouts plus the 20. The Knicks have 3. And we're going to have a foul right at the top.
Robert Parish on the jump.
Robert Parish with the foul, and the Knicks setting the play. It was no foul. It was an interference, so it's New York ball, no foul against Boston. The Knicks have never led in this game till now.
They can smell it.
The Celtics have to be in shock, but the Knicks have not won it yet. They have made a long climb back. Ainge ties it up for Boston.
And Ewing has hurt his ankle.
Patrick Ewing is limping and has hurt his ankle or his knee, and maybe his knee, and timeout is called. And if there's anything that's going to put a damper on things here in Madison Square Garden, it's Patrick Ewing limping to the bench.
He has been their offense down the stretch. They just don't have another player to take his place.
They don't have another man you can call a franchise right now who's been healthy.
Here's where Ewing hurt his ankle. He's down in good position. He goes out there to Danny Ainge to try and stop the jump shot, and he comes down on the side of his foot. We didn't see it was out of screen, and he goes up court, and he's limping.
Patrick Ewing has scored 26 points in the game, 18 of them in the final period, and 10 rebounds.
That's what I keep telling you.
But you know, there was a story in regulation that forced this game into overtime, that foiled the Celtics' last opportunity.
McHale tried to take advantage of Cummings, but he waited much too long to go at Cummings. It allowed the double team to develop, and off the Knicks went with the ball, and they ended up having a good chance to win it, but it ended up in a tie.
The report from the bench, Dr. Norman Scott is there with Mike Saunders, is a jammed right knee. Pat Ewing has a jammed right knee.
Not again, huh?
The Knicks calling a timeout are left with 2 full timeouts. The score is 88-88 as Sparrow and Ainge both hit jump shots. But there's the story right here.
Right there.
Well, that's going to have the most dramatic effect on the last 4.5 minutes of this ball game, as you know, when you have an injury like this to a key player, it either does one of 2 things. You either bounce back strong and say, let's win it, we were doing it anyway, or the team folds its tent and says, look, we're not going to be able to win it without Patrick Ewing. I'm kind of anxious to see which one they take.
He is gingerly testing it. On the side, the Knicks will go with Cummings. Let's see him near the ball. That's where it happened.
He goes right up to try and block Ainge, and he comes down, I believe, on Ainge's foot.
So the Knicks will have Cummings or Sparrow, Wilkins, and Bannister. Basically a small, well, it's not small with Cummings in there. Wilkins, the rookie, has really done well. They're posting up Ainge. Sparrow going inside. Ball knocked away. Might have been Larry Bird. Ewing's going to come back in the ball game. The score is tied and nearly a minute gone in the overtime. Ewing feels well enough to come back in. Sparrow on DJ. Bannister helping out. Ainge, 3 on the shot clock. Parish with 1 second, hits the basket.
I'll tell you, that was a lucky one for the Celtics. They worked the clock down and almost didn't come up with a good shot.
24 for Robert Parish, leading scorer and rebounder for the Celtics. Ewing waiting for a chance to come back. Cummings won't take the shot against McHale. Wilkins, long range, is way short. And Parish.
That's what is evident on this ball club. When Ewing isn't in there, they don't know who to go to.
Boston by 2, and they have the ball. We're in overtime. Knicks came from way back to tie it up. They were down by 25 points. Parish. Air ball. McHale fighting Cummings. No foul, but the Knicks with the ball. And missing, but there's Orr to tie it in. Orr on the follow-up as Ewing cheers from the sideline. And Orr knocks it out of bounds. What a heated game this is, and Pat Ewing comes back.
Looks like he's ready.
2:49 remaining in overtime. 90-90. McHale hits the fall away. Looks like Celtics are getting their outside shooting range here in the OT.
What they were doing, Dick, is spending too much time worrying about working the clock down instead of taking the best shot that presents itself.
2.5 to play. In this first overtime session, Ewing double team Orr over Bird. Cummings and Ainge fight. Turnover. 4-on-2 for the Knicks, and Orr pulls up with it.
That was a great defensive play by Pat Cummings to knock that ball loose from Danny Ainge.
2 minutes to go in this first overtime session. Bird against Orr. Foul. And Larry Bird will go to the line. He has scored 21 points, and Orr is fouled out of the ball game.
Here's the third great defensive play by Cummings. Watch him from behind, knock it out of Ainge's hand. And believe me, that saved an easy 2 points for the Celtics.
But Louis Orr has fouled out, 10 points and 9 rebounds, and a terrific defensive job no matter who he was guarding today, Tommy.
He does not go for fakes, Louis Orr. He stays on the ground, so boy, you are in trouble right away.
He had to be a power forward, a small forward, defend some of the big men for the Celtics.
And he made a key hoop, too, Dick, right before he fouled out on that rebound basket on a fast break. So he's been hustling on the break, too.
Ernie Grunfeld replaces him. He's steady. There's Bill Walton, who has not seen all that much action. The Celtics lead 94-92. The Knicks have not had the lead at all in this ball game. It's still New York ball. And 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, it's going into Ewing, wouldn't you think?
It has almost every time. Ewing has 26 points. It's quiet until the fourth period. Cummings. This is the hook shot. Cummings gets it back. And they're going to call a foul on Pat Cummings. That's 5 on Cummings.
Well, they go to one Pat or the other at crunch time. Here's Cummings with the short hook shot, but McHale comes down with the rebound, and he gets attacked by 2 of the Knicks. It looked like Cummings may have stripped him cleanly, but the foul is charged to Pat Cummings.
Coming into this ball game, if you looked at the record, you'd say this is a mismatch, and for most of the game it was. But then the Knicks went to work and forced the game in overtime, and now McHale will try to give the Celtics a 4-point lead. 1:37 remaining in the overtime section.
That's a big miss.
3-point lead. Ewing trying to get position on the Parish. And the rebound by Dennis Johnson.
Everybody rebounds at key points for the Celtics.
95-92 in favor of Boston. Cummings trying to deny McHale, who's fouled. And Ewing limping out on the court. He is playing hurt. Make no mistake about that. He is hurting out there. Meanwhile, Cummings is fouled out of the ball game. That's his 6th foul. So the Knicks have lost Orr and Cummings. two of their starting forwards today on foul.
That's been the problem for the Knicks most of the year, is that they don't have a lot of big people to go to when the Knicks get in foul trouble. When a Ewing or a Cumming gets in foul trouble. Bannister has played fairly well. Bailey's been hurt. He played pretty well today. I'm surprised he's not in this ball game at this point.
McHale is 13 for 16 from the line. And gives the Celtics a 5-point lead, and the Knicks will call a timeout. They have one timeout remaining. It's been a struggle, but the Celtics have a 5-point lead with 1:09 on the clock. Our story, 97-92, the Celtics lead, and we want to thank a few people here that worked on Christmas Day to help bring you this broadcast. Executive producer Ted Shaker, Mike Burks, our producer, Sandy Grossman, our director, and our team, of course, Bob Mons back at the half, Mark Wolf, our associate producer, and everyone else that played a role in this broadcast. Thank you very much. And of course, Tommy, I guess if you want to talk about Christmas presents, our viewers got a little present when they saw an exciting finish to this game that didn't look like it was headed that way at all.
It surprised me that Hubie Brown waited so long to employ that press that has been an integral part of whatever his team has ever done. And they did not until the third quarter start to really attack the Celtic offense and force them out of their normal rhythm of offense. So I don't know. They just kind of waited a little bit too long, I think. Otherwise, they might have really given the Celtics some trouble. Bird has been having trouble shooting from the outside. They had a weakness, and I don't think they exploited it enough.
1:09 remaining, and of course, we all wish you what remains of the happy holiday. Ewing goes up and gets the basket. And of course, above all, don't drink and drive. We cannot emphasize that enough. 1 minute to go and a 3-point lead for the Celtics, 97-94. Celtics are not out of the woods yet by any means.
Believe that.
Runfeld all over Bird. Runfeld is pesky. Bird missing. And the Knicks with 43 seconds to go and a very big possession for them right here. But Wilkins throws the ball away. 37 seconds to go. Wilkins, who's played a fine game as the rookie here, tough competition. Trent Tucker is one of the leading three-point shooters in the NBA. He is not on the floor right now for the Knicks.
Celtics still have to get a good shot after working the clock down.
5 on the shot clock. Larry Bird misses. Ewing the rebound. Timeout. The Knicks have used their last timeout here. 16 seconds remaining, and the Knicks needing 3 points. And so far, Trent Tucker has not taken off that warm-up, Jack.
I'll tell you right now, Dick, that Larry Bird on that last play showed me the problems that he's having. He was not free and easy getting those tweener shots, as we call them. You know, not an outside shot and not a layup. He was miraculous with those type of things. And he considers himself to be the guy that has to make those shots. He took it, and it was no good.
He's 8 for 25, so he's not having a good game. And you're looking at his last shot with Wilkins in his face. It was a missed shot, but...
Yeah, but look how long it was. You never saw Larry Bird with that type of shot. I mean, they were almost automatic, those tweener shots.
It's either to the left or the right, but you know it's going to be on the mark.
That's exactly right.
All right, 16 seconds to go, and the Knicks are down by 3 points. And Trent Tucker is going, I think, back into the ball game. There's Tucker, and he is the three-point shooter, one of the league's best right now. He is third in the NBA.
Well, Sparrow's pretty good, and Runfeld's pretty good. So they've got enough guys to get it up from the outside. The Celtics made some strategic mistakes and not really taking the best shot that presented itself without working the clock down to under 8 seconds.
Are you ready? Give it some. Give it some. Come right down and post up, Patrick. Right there. Right there. Are you ready? You got an open three. Hey, you don't whack it in right inside Patrick. Okay? Score. Hold on. White. Patrick on the ball.
Looks like they're going to go strong inside as their first option. Is that what it looks like to you?
I think they'll go for the three-pointer. The Celtics may play it, and if they challenge them on a three-pointer, they'll get it inside.
Big difference in this game has been at the free throw line, where the Celtics have outscored the Knicks 32-14. There's the timeout story, and the Knicks are out of them. 16 seconds to go. Nearly a steal. Tucker for three. Ties it up. Trent Tucker did not have much time to look at the basket before he fired away, but he's third in the NBA, and Hubie Brown put him in for just that reason.
Parish always makes the steal, but there it gets over to Tucker on the weak side of the court. Before the defender could get out of space, the shot was up and away, and the Celtics still have 11 seconds to go. But look at this. Trent Tucker, a happy guy.
And the Knicks will take their chances, Tommy, because they didn't have much time to get that shot. They were hoping that they would get as many opportunities as possible, but you're right, it gives the Celtics 11 seconds to try to win it.
Well, all you can do is take the best shot that presents itself, which is what Trent Tucker did. They were trying to work for the three-pointer, and if it wasn't there, they still might have been able to get the rebound, pull it out, and get another shot going. So you don't wait to run the clock down to try the ball game up. You take the shot right away.
All right, now the Celtics have the ball. Larry Bird has not been shooting well. Does Bird get the ball, or does someone else get the ball for that last shot?
Nobody else has really kind of got it in his head that he's the guy that's supposed to do it other than Larry Bird. He's been historically doing it for the last several years. So to give it to somebody else and say, you do it for us right now, is kind of a tough job for that individual.
The front line for Boston, McHale has 28, Parish 24, Bird has 23, and of course, the last shot could be a shot inside to draw the foul and perhaps win it on the line.
The Celtics historically like to go to the matchup in a key situation that they feel they can work on. McHale will be guarded by a smaller player, so will Robert Parish. Ewing will be guarding Robert Parish. And if they double down, they'll kick it out and probably get an outside shot from DJ or Ainge.
Keep in mind that Ainge is 1 for 5 and Dennis Johnson 1 for 8. So the guards have not done it for the Celtics outside today. 11 seconds to go, and they're trapped. Now they're back into the order. Man-to-man. Ainge puts it up. McHale. 1 second. And we're going to another overtime. Casey Jones has had a struggle he never imagined he'd have, and it was Grunfeld who blocked McHale. Another 5-minute overtime upcoming on Christmas Day on CBS. We're back here at Madison Square Garden, and the fans, who were quiet most of the way, have to be virtually drained by what we've seen. A 25-point Boston Celtic lead evaporated, and after an overtime session, we go into our second 5-minute overtime period. Pat Cummings and Louis Orr, the starting forwards for the Knicks, have fouled out of the ball game. For the Celtics, Parish, McHale, and Seasting have 4 fouls. And this has been an improbable series of developments here at the Garden.
I think the Celtics made a strategic mistake in that overtime by not going right away for the best shot that presented itself in the low post. They were trying to eat up the clock. Then they went to the low post with under 10 seconds, and they ended up with not good shots. They allowed the defense to get at them much too quickly. So maybe they've learned a little bit of a lesson, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they try to exploit Bannister in that low post.
Timeout Story. The Knicks have 3, and the Celtics 3 plus a 20. So each team now tacks on 3 timeouts. This is a 5-minute period. Bonus after the 4th foul, and the tip won by the Celtics. 1961, they had a double overtime here at Madison Square Garden, and the Knicks won by 1 point. Inside, and a great move. Backdoor play.
That's one of the old-time Celtic plays that they save for such opportunities. They've been running it successfully the last couple of weeks. Usually getting layups.
Dennis Johnson scored. Grunfeld coming back, ties it up. 99 apiece. How often do you see double overtime, and we haven't reached 100 for either side? Seasting in the game, guarded by Wilkins. Wilkins has grown up a lot in this one, for sure. Double team on Dennis Johnson, a 3-second violation called against the Celtics.
A double with Patrick Ewing, an awful big doubling man, and Dennis Johnson couldn't see an open teammate.
Ewing over Parish. And the Knicks lead 101-99.
They have not found a way to stop Patrick Ewing's offense this half and overtime.
This is only the second time the Knicks have had the lead in the game. Larry Bird comes back and Bannister the rebound. And the Knicks can open it up to 4 points. Boston led by 25 with 6.5 minutes remaining in the third period. Ewing and McHale with a terrific play. It'll still be Nick ball, but Ewing was challenged head-on, one-on-one by McHale.
And Bird is having really problems on the offense, but watch McHale come from the weak side to help out on the block and take a sure hoop away from Ewing.
Wilkins going into the hoop. And the Knicks are playing with a confidence that they haven't shown all that much in games this year.
As a big guard, Wilkins has got it, I'll tell you. He can take it to the hoop against anybody.
The lead is 4, the biggest Knick lead of the game, and McHale is fouled and will go to the line.
Wilkins gets by Dennis Johnson easily. Now watch him go up high over McHale, and that's no easy job because McHale is great at timing the release of shots close to the basket.
Bannister's foul, and McHale will shoot. Seasting. Bannister. McHale is closing in and packing in the middle. They're posting up Wilkins on Dennis Johnson, but Bannister hits.
I'm out here to shoot. That's what I'm going to do.
And a 5-point New York lead. Turnover. Barrow. The underdog Knicks have gone wild. And the Celtics call timeout with 2:37 to go in second overtime. And New York by 7 now.
Pushing up fast, produces layups off the steal. Here's Sparrow strong to the hoop before Dennis Johnson can get back to protect. And look at this happy crew of Knickerbocker.
You give them confidence, who knows what they can do. And Ewing with a season's high of 30 points. His previous high was 29 against these same Celtics.
Well, it took them 3 quarters to shake off the eggnog, Dick. They have certainly come out and done a remarkable job to end up with a 7-point lead. I mean, we were putting the nails in the coffin early, and here they are winning this ball game.
Amazingly, a swing of 32 points in this game with 6.5 minutes remaining in the third. 32-point swing, and now all the pressure in the world is on the shoulders of the men in green.
Casey Jones, I'm sure, is a very unhappy man at this point. His bench did not produce, and his go-to guy that has really done the job for him down the years in a miraculous fashion, Larry Bird, has really not been able to hit those key baskets.
And the maligned New York Knick guard, who earlier were not giving support to the big men. Sparrow has 20 points, and Wilkins has 12. And that's what the Knicks have done, but let's keep in mind, 2:37 to go, there is enough time, plenty of time, for the Celtics to come back.
Casey Jones counters now with Bill Walton for Robert Parish. Danny Ainge is out of the ball game, and Jerry Seasting has been in for most of this overtime.
Now, Walton has not played. He has been on the bench for a long time, so he's not in the flow right now.
Absolutely right, Dick. And Parish was having a pretty good offensive evening or afternoon for himself.
2.5 minutes to go. It started in the afternoon, but now we're into the evening, Tom. Seasting working against Wilkins. 8 on the shot clock. Bird. And we will have, let's see, a foul against the Knicks. It's against Grunfeld. That's the first foul. Here's Robert Parish, who has scored 24. Rebound by Bannister.
Bird just continues to have shooting woes.
8 for 26 for Larry Bird today. Winding down to 2 minutes to go in the second overtime. And a Boston foul away from the ball. Walton commits the foul, and that's Boston's first.
Walton trying to be a little bit more physical with Ewing than perhaps Parish was.
It may be too late to be physical with Ewing in this game. Who knows? Grunfeld inside to Ewing. McHale and Walton. And the Boston foul is against Kevin McHale. 5 on Kevin.
Ernie Grunfeld as a penetrator, come on, quit it. He came under control and made the defense react and left Ewing open on the baseline. The Celtics hustled back to get at him, but they end up fouling him. But the guy that made the play is that man that you're looking at, Grunfeld.
Now Ainge comes in for Dennis Johnson. Why that move?
I think DJ may be a little bit tired, and they're hoping to get some outside shooting in there. They gave Ainge a rest.
What a magnificent game for Patrick Ewing, who had only 8 points after 3 periods of the game. Don't forget, he had jammed his knee. They have so many heroes in this ball game. Trent Tucker with a 3-point shot to help send it into the second overtime. And now the Knicks lead by 9, 109 to 100.
It's an important win for the Knicks to make them believe in themselves.
Couldn't do it a better way. Down by 25. Walton bombs away. Sparrow the rebound, and the Knicks can't be denied right now. And a foul. It'll be against Danny Ainge, and the crowd can sense it.
Little people helping big people. Watch the guard come in there and pull it down. Roy Sparrow pushes it up, fouled by Danny Ainge.
Scott Wedman comes in for Larry Bird. Bird goes out with 23 points. And a very tough shooting game, as you see how cold the Celtics have been and how hot the Knicks are in the overtime, the second overtime.
This is the type of thing that's been plaguing the Celtics. They've relied so much on Larry Bird at the key parts of ball games to carry him, and he's been having shooting problems.
8 for 27 for Larry Bird. Part of the story, Ainge for 3. And now they say over and back, stepping on the line was Ewing, and it'll be Boston ball, down by 11 points.
He had 1 foot out of bounds, Dick, before he caught the pass back from Walton.
Knicks and Ainge fouls Wilkins. For Danny Ainge, that's his 5th foul. The score was tied at 99, and since then, the Celtics have been outscored by 12 to 1.
That is surprising. They usually have that power inside game that they can rely on when they need to score at the tail end of a ball game. It did not happen tonight because of the real defensive pressure that the Knicks put on them. It took them away from their normal game plan.
That ignited it for the Knicks. Patrick Ewing, maybe having the time of his life.
Well, rookie enthusiasm, but important for Patrick Ewing to believe that his teammates can band together to defeat a really good basketball team.
Wilkins misses the free throw. 120 to show. 111 to 100. The Knicks. Rick Carlisle into the ball game. And Greg Kite is also in there. So Casey Jones has said, we blew a 25-point lead, and it's history as far as we're concerned. And Patrick Ewing goes out. 32 points, 11 rebounds for Ewing. Haley replaces him. So the Knicks will win 3 in a row to match their season's high. And the Celtics have now lost 5 of their last 9 games. Steal by Carlisle. Under a minute to go. Block. Feasting. Runs into Grunfeld. Patrick Ewing left the court. You remember he jammed the knee, so he has gone to the Knicks dressing room early here.
We just hope that they haven't won the battle and lost the war with that injury by playing Ewing with perhaps a serious knee problem. But he wanted to play, you could tell that.
Feasting. And the rebound by Bannister. Ahead of the field is Wilkins. A stunning upset by the New York Knicks, who are down by 25. In a slow, methodical game that had the crowd sitting on its hands. But how things changed in the last 6 minutes of the third period throughout the final and in 2 exciting overtime sessions. And the Knicks have outscored the Celtics 16-3 in the second overtime.
Yubi believes in that press defense. It makes them aggressive. They attack, and he really got the job done here today.
You saw the expressions of King and Bird. In many ways, that says it all.
Bird, during the summer months, was not able to really work out because of the elbow injury and the finger injury they had. They told him to lay off. He started to jog. He hurt his back, and it's been bothering him ever since.
Tight with the 2 free throws. But the Celtics had the second-best record in the league coming into this one. They lost to Philadelphia in their last outing. And the Knicks will beat them for the first time since the Knicks won Game 6 of their playoff 2 years ago. Walton kicks it out of bounds. 113-102. Carlisle at the buzzer, but the Knicks win in a stunning upset. They were down by 25 points, and they came back. And this is going to be one of the big comebacks we have seen in many a year, Tom.
There's no question about that. I mean, everybody in the building was ready to forget the Knicks. They were booing the ball club. All of a sudden, that press turned it around.
A 34-point swing from the middle of the third period. So for Tom Heinsohn and Pat O'Brien, this is Dick Stockton saying so long from Madison Square Garden, where the final score, the New York Knicks in 2 overtimes over Boston, 113-104. A reminder on Saturday, the Georgia Bulldogs take on Arizona in the Sun Bowl, live at 12:30 Eastern. And following the Sun Bowl, you'll see NCAA basketball as Louisville battles Kentucky at 4 o'clock Eastern.